You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Put that coffee down.
I'm a British nanny. I'm dangerous.
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
That was totally wicked!
It's the Al Travis Show. We get her in here once a week. She's Senator Susan Kent. We call it Clean Up in Aisle 9 or Yeah, but. And we love having her on. She is at the new zoo, looks like, with that pretty background. You'd be safer at the new zoo. They have the animals, caged off. You're out there in the wild again. Where about? It's Lutsen Mountain, right?
I'm in the cage here, so it's all safe.
Right. Yeah. The bears are poking at you and seeing if you'll come to the glass.
And
is it Lutsen Mountain?
Yes, we're right by Lutsen Mountain, and we've got family visiting, which is really fun and special. We have a great nephew who's starting 7th grade next week, and so this is a big fun thing that we do in the summer. And we did for the first time. It's called Putt and Pets in Grand Marais, and it's mini golf, and it's great. And there are goats, and we had fun with the goats and the other critters, and
that's what you want to do, is smell like goat before you go back into the wild. Oh man, wow, that's great. Great on, Susan. Hey, why do they keep trailing me, these animals, these wild tigers and bears? Brilliant idea. I like that. Do you, just out of curiosity, the kids come to the cabin with Aunt Susan, and do you have to, when they first come, give them a rundown of safety tips and what to do and not to do? And do you have to do that when you're out there like that?
I mean, we talk about, because we had campfire last night out right by the woods,
the call of the bear, the smoky marshmallow. Yeah, brilliant.
Yes, and the 12-year-old loves a fully charred marshmallow. He's very good at that. That's his favorite way to do them. We did have a conversation, about you don't want to instigate the bears, and you want to, don't want to be too close to the bear.
Isn't it funny? Is if you're the slowest runner, then you have to pretend to fake dead kind of thing. When you understand, on Susan, when you're having these conversations, it's wrong to have the children there. They don't go to Disney World and then have a class on how to, take care of business. You should know that if you have to have a safety meeting to be at your house, it's not safe.
It's not a safety meeting. It is perfectly safe. And he's been coming up here his whole life. I remember when we came up here before we had our place, and he was just a tiny baby, and we all got to help hold the baby. So,
all right. Well, fair enough. Oh, I hope you all have a great time. That's fantastic.
It's the best.
I'm a knucklehead. There are times in my life when I find out who I really am, and it scares me.
We're on radio, Al. Don't forget, you got to explain what you just flashed to the camera.
So the last guest was on, and I need to make a quick note. She said, "Hey, by the way, get a hold of me on this thing, and let me know." Well, if I don't do it right away and write that down, by the time I'm done talking to Senator Susan Kent about her nephew getting eaten by a bear on her watch, I will forget that I need to do that until it's too late. So I'm a Post-it note guy. Thank you, 3M. Free plug for you. Out of Post-it notes at the desk. And I panic.
Tragedy.
I panic to a point where I realize it's over panicking. I'm 60 years old. I should not panic because I don't have a slip of paper with a little stick-em on the back. So I just ripped my notes of what we were going to talk about, wrote the note on the back, and put it over there. And then I panicked that, oh my gosh, that could blow away. That doesn't have the sticky on it. You're making fun. You're watching me go through.
I participated.
Don't you have it's a tape, Scotch tape?
Scotch tape.
I do, but that's in the other room by the packet of Post-it notes that I did buy. So I grabbed the one thing we had, which was a Band-Aid, and I stuck it to the table. That's just not normal.
Al, you are the MacGyver of radio. Come on, this is awesome.
MacGyver never sweat. I'm sweating because of a Post-it note issue. I'm not the man I thought I was. It's just sad. All right, I have a lot of things today. And do you mind if we read through? I did this with Senator Putnam as well. I was just sitting there making notes of things that were just kind of bothering me throughout the day yesterday. And I found out about 50-50, whether it's my side mucking up or your side mucking up. But either way, I think when we're done, you and I will agree on almost all of them. Is that fair? For different reasons,
Sure.
but the same ends. I don't know if you caught it, but my fine guy, Donald Trump, the president decided, executive order, you burn a flag, jail, 1 year, not getting out in 10 months, it's 1 year, baby. It's going to be on your record. I presume Senator Susan Kent is against this. Would I be right?
Well, I'll just say, first and foremost, the United States Supreme Court repeatedly is against it. So let's just throw that in there. And also, there's a whole thing. It's called the Constitution, and there's one branch of government that writes the laws, and then there's another one that executes them.
And I'm an old Army guy. I thoroughly 100% believe I was in the service so that if somebody wants to burn the flag, they can. I don't have to then invite you to my place for 4th of July. Right. I don't have to be your buddy because we look at things completely. I get that. But I fought for it. We didn't have war when I was there, but we tried. So I'm 100% against what he's doing. Then he cloaks it and then, well, it's inciting riot. Don't go down that road with me, buddy, because you're the one who incited riots because you had a speech and you didn't believe that. So don't. So you and I agree. This is Crazyville. Now, I will go one step further where I think we'll disagree. There is a guy in California that's spending a year in jail, which is how I think Trump got this, for burning a pride flag at a pride march thingy, which was inciting riots. You know what? We can't have it both ways. Now, if you want to go waste your money buying somebody else's flag and burn it, go do your thing. But again, don't invite him to your party. I think I'm consistent on that. Would you agree? Burn the flag.
Yeah, I would just say it depends on the specifics, because if it was the exact same situation, person A burning the U.S. flag under a set of circumstances, and person B burning a pride flag under the exact same set of circumstances, I do think that should be covered by free speech.
Sure. Okay, good. So see, my side, I'm going to say no go.
Crazy.
The next one I found, I was laughing out loud, which is wrong, but it happens in my life. This Kilmer Garcia guy, the Maryland dad guy who got booted to El Salvador or something, they said he couldn't do that, so we brought him back, and then he had his trial. Now they're going to kick him to Uganda. All of that I don't even want to talk about. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I don't have any idea. But his lawyer...
talk about that. But,
we can. Again, but what hit me about it was he literally said, you can't send me to a country that I don't speak the language, he said through his interpreter. He doesn't speak the language of the country he came into, and his poor lawyer's got to defend that, and this is the last card they had. I was laughing out loud. The interpreter had to say, you can't kick me to a country where I can't speak the language. You're in one. You can't speak the language. Killer, Uganda's language, the national language is English. Whether he should go or not, you're looking at me with a strange eye. I'm not him. The idea that you're using, I can't speak the language in a country you can't speak the language is funny to me.
I think they're using that as a metaphor, because when you ship somebody to a country that they don't have, deporting somebody is returning them to the country that they came here from illegally.
But he has not to have that done.
Well, he has a judicial order because he came here as basically refugee status or asylum status, something like that. And he has a court order affirming that, right? So that had all happened before any of this stuff with Trump happened, right? So, that exists. But the bigger picture point is that if they were to send him back to the country from which he came, that would be considered deporting, right? But when you send somebody off to some other random country, particularly countries that are politically unstable and don't have any sort of track record of protecting people's rights, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, there are those who call that human trafficking.
Some would. It's funny is I don't know. Uganda is the first one I know that will just take random people from countries that don't want them. There's a business in that. I have no idea.
There are several countries in very shaky situations that are willing to take big money from the United States of America to do this terrible thing.
We need to find this out. This is a brilliant point, but I got to go to break. The brilliant point. So Uganda says we'll take him. So yes, we have to get on the plane and fly the plane to Uganda or whatever. Fine. But we're handing him a check then to keep him?
Yeah.
How much?
I don't know.
Oh, we need to look into that. I didn't know. I figured, hey.
Right. No, this is a shady deal. Because what they're trying to do. We have long had a broken immigration system, and yes, we have people who entered and overstayed in this country in complicated situations. And now, the Trump regime came in saying, well, we're going to solve this problem by mass deportation. And it's not as pretty as everybody wanted to believe.
Well, it's never going to be pretty. We flooded the zone. It was never going to be pretty getting about it. I have to go to break. We're way behind. But the joke was the lawyer had no cards to play. He's like, and after that, it's return uno, go back to you.
No,
it's just the worst.
He's got so many cards to play. Is the deal.
That was his last one before the guy got on the plane to Uganda. Back after this.
Braver Angels Minnesota is part of a national movement that brings together conservatives, liberals, independents, and others to restore trust, respect, and goodwill in politics. We seek not to eliminate our differences, but rather deal with them head on, with respect and understanding. We do not try to change people's views, but how they view the other side. There will always be differences. Braver Angels Minnesota believes the best way forward is to change how we deal with those differences. Join the civil conversation at mn.braverangels.org.
Achieving your financial goals requires individual planning and a comprehensive approach. At Midwest Money Management, our mission is to provide you with the knowledge, tools, and confidence to feel comfortable financially today and secure about tomorrow. Learn more at MidwestMoneyManagement.com. That's MidwestMoneyManagement.com.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Inc., Midwest Money Management, and JW Cole Financial Inc. and JW Cole Advisors Inc. are unaffiliated entities.
The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
What do we got to do with Senator Susan Kent? The idea of the little game is I bring up a topical situation, and we can discuss the topic after we make fun of the fun that I brought up, why the topic made me laugh. We can't intermix it. Got to have the fun first, then we're going to bust it down. Because this next one, we're going to do the same thing to you. Gerrymandering. Right, wrong, or indifferent, we'll discuss. But I find hysterical that as soon as Texas says we're going to go get 5 more for President Trump, we spend the first week and a half, everyone discussing that this is the end of democracy. Democracy, as you know, it is done. This is what's going to kill America. And then California says, hold my beer. And they go after, like, if you thoroughly believe it's the end of democracy as we know, then you don't say, we'll race you there. It seemed like a bad argument. Now, we can tell me you didn't find that weird, that your answer to the death of democracy is we'll beat you there. Come on. Then we'll talk gerrymandering. Come on.
I think it's unfortunate that we're here. I don't like
disagree.
gerrymandering at all, but as others say, if if one group of people is ready to set a nuclear bomb on, well, I shouldn't use that example.
No hyperbole on this show.
To destroy our democracy, then you can't just say, okay, fine, we're good with that, break our country, and we'll sit by while you do it. It's so yeah.
But what I find interesting, and I think we talked about this like 1928 or some weird stuff when they came up with this name for this. It's been going on for forever.
Gerrymandering. It goes back to I think the early 1800s.
Okay, so I mean, it's like nothing new. No team can wash their hands and say we've been on the high road on this forever. It's just it's the end of democracy.
This is such an extreme case of gerrymandering. It's not even gerrymandering. Texas is already gerrymandered in a completely outrageous way. Believe me, I lived in Austin, Texas, and Tom DeLay was the one who came up with the 2010 plan for redistricting all over the country, and in a way that was not fair and completely took little Austin, Texas, which is bigger now than it used to be, but at the time, it wasn't much bigger than Madison, and they split that up into 5 separate congressional districts, and that's the way Texas is. But now we're going to go in the middle of the decade, which is not when we do redistricting, and we're going to further bust up these seats, and we're going to do it because Donald Trump got on the phone and called and said, can you find me 5 congressional seats? Because I know we're going to lose the election next year, if we don't. And so, Greg Abbott says, sure. How high do you want me to jump?
Hold my beer and we'll take it from California. You see, I'm going with a joke. Okay. Yeah,
sorry.
I hate gerrymandering.
Sorry, I
maybe you can do it on my last one. This is the last one I got.
Put me in the camp of I do not find the destruction of our democracy a joking matter. It's
what else do we have? I've just brought up burning flags and deportation. What else do we got? We got to laugh. We can't laugh.
I was with you on the
Let's one last one. But first, Austin is a terrible town. Just going to throw it out there. My wife and I went down
Texas?
there. Yeah, we drove down. They have these weird 6-mile high turnarounds, freeways that go. It's just freakish. Never be drinking up in that. No way. It's scary. It's roller coaster crap.
Well, you haven't been to Dallas then. That's
okay. No. Okay. Yeah. So, and my last one, because you're in the marketing business, I actually thought of you in this. I
avoid those flyovers, by the way. They make me nervous. But.
Yeah, so I'm not lying.
We're grand.
Yeah, see this all day long. Cracker Barrel. This is so crazy to me. We go out of our way to fix perceived problems. Cracker Barrel is a 120-year-old company. Yeah, got it. Got a guy next to a barrel on your thing, and it may not be a restaurant for everybody. Got it. I got no problem with that. But somebody in some executive, some say, oh my goodness, if you really look at this wrong, we must change. So they hire a marketing company, $750,000, to come up with the idea of, well, get rid of the old guy and the barrel and just be Cracker Barrel. And the company lost $1 billion in $100 million in stock value. And now yesterday they decided, okay, we're kidding, we're going back. The comedy of this is they may not survive what just happened to them this week because they overthought the properly is a problem. Look at us. We're called the Cracker Barrel. It kills me what these companies are doing to try to be right to the point of killing themselves.
I have a different perspective on this, and I
thought you would.
I hope you will find that I'm not taking you in some unfortunate, depressing direction. But I've been in the marketing business for a lot of years. I've seen a lot of logo redesigns. And usually what the goal is to clean them up and make them easier to read and see and reproduce on marketing materials. And I looked at the Cracker Barrel redesign and I'm like, how very 21st century of them. I didn't see it as political at all. And then my favorite thing was I saw something on social media where yeah, they just erased the white man. And someone was like, oh, he's orange.
Yeah, well, even the orange is a horrible orange. The font is horrible. They could have cleaned it up and cleaned it up, but it looked like they just got rid of white guy, the Cracker Barrel.
They changed a lot of it. It's always a challenge when you're updating your brand to maintain some of the legacy and the traditions, but also make it relevant to today's audience. And the way that people reacted to it, though, I think is fascinating. So I'm just going to leave that there.
Well,
I thought it was a perfectly reasonable cleanup of a
$100 million just in stock price went down just for that. It's like do you ever hire that marketing company again? I mean, the relaunch, even if you are correct, then
so-
the way they launched it was crap.
Well, okay. So again, I just throw out there, MSNBC is because of the spinning off of the cable part and all that stuff. They just went through their own logo redesign.
MS Now. Yeah.
and the MSNBC audience is not happy with what's happening.
People don't like change, people. We really don't. I got to go. We're out of time. On the other side, we'll talk real stuff here in Minnesota. A lot happened. I can't wait to find out what your thoughts are. And I think you and I agree on almost all of those for different reasons, but we agreed on them. They were weird. Senator Susan Kent on the Al Travis Show.